Soundstripe. Welcome to South End supporters of St. Louis City SC podcast. Eric Cole alongside the Monday morning center back Dave Wyckoff. Dave, we were off last week, came back hoping to come back with better news after the Open Cup win. Follow that momentum. Let's keep it going. We thumped somebody 4-0. Let's keep it. They did it backwards, and we got thumped 4-1. But we'll get into that. We'll break down the games and everything that we've missed, and then get into some submissions later on in the show. But before all that, how we doing today?
Maybe that means we just belong in the USL. Did anybody ever stop to think about that? Like maybe a jump to the MLS at the very beginning was a poor plan. Like should have stuck with STL FC and just kind of tried to gradually climb the ladder and might be less painful and frustrating.
Yeah, that's an interesting thought. Not a bad one either. I mean, man, like we seem to do pretty good against those guys. That's not bad. Yeah. I mean, sometimes your favorite, the most exciting games to watch are in the championship more than the Premier League. So maybe we would have more excitement down there too. I don't know.
I watched an absolute banger this morning between Ipswich and Borough, who are fighting for that second automatic promotion spot with Millwall, and I think Southampton has jumped into that discussion now. So
it's a good race for just the playoff for the promotion right now in the championship. So yeah, it's exciting.
I think it was your brother that was talking about how much more exciting the championship is at this point in the season because there are so many more teams with everything to win and everything to lose. You know, you got relegation battle and then you got promotion playoff. Between the 3 to 6 seeds, and you know that's pretty cool. It was a cool concept, right? As opposed to let's see, what do City have to play for the rest of this season?
Yeah, it's going to be a good.
God, okay. Like full disclosure. So we're all sitting at my house last night. Eric, our friend Jake, my wife Katie, my daughter, watching this just shit show. And all I can think of is, man, like all we need is a semi-competitive team to make this all worthwhile. But like otherwise it just seems like so like just it's just so futile. Like what is the point? Like, we have the 4 screens downstairs last night, and what do we have? We had the Lakers playoff game. We had UFC.
Finished up the Cardinal game.
A Cardinal game, and we inexplicably put the City game, like front and center with main sound. And I'm just thinking, like, man, if this isn't our team, we don't watch this game, And I guess that's fandom. No. God, like, just something. Just give me something to get excited about.
Yeah, I was having thoughts last night of like, oh man, this is really trending, unfortunately, just the way it's been the past 3 years, where you don't feel like there's any big splash as far as the transfer market, but you still have minimal optimism, and season starts out fairly fresh. That Charlotte game, I think, had a lot of us, feeling like, hey, maybe these little like pieces that they did pull together will gel together and it will work forward. Obviously, the question was out on DeMay not having much exposure to him and everything. But I just remember sitting there last night and thinking, like, and a lot of the things that we were kind of pointing out, I was like, we've been saying this stuff for years. Oh, why is there a big gap between the midfield? Where's our 6s? Oh, they're both running in the same direction. What happens on the goal? Oh, backdoor run. Well, we got to make sure that doesn't happen again. Oh, next corner kick. That same thing happened again with the same player. It's just kind of like, oh, we need somebody to be able to put the ball in the back of the net. Boy, we panic in the final third. Wow, we have every time it just seems our wingbacks, their go-to is just to shift the ball back with the trail pass. It's just like, I just kept thinking every time we would shout something out, I was like, we've been saying this. We've been saying this. And now I'm starting to almost get this like weird you're getting this like weird fallback on like the Olaf era, where it's just like, okay, he really emphasized possession, but what it really is possession with no intent behind it. It just seems like a lot of it is just like, okay, let's just hold the possession stat and see how well we do there. But as the game goes on, that starts to fall apart because we need to start trying to break forward. And that's where Seattle makes up their possession on the night. I think I looked and it ended at a split 50-50 on possession on the night. But I was almost getting frustrated listening to the commentators because they kept saying, like, against the run of play. Seattle's going against the run of play.
Yeah.
And we were sitting there going, like, I don't know. We haven't registered at the time. We were like, we haven't registered a shot on goal. We haven't really, like, had any real clear and cut opportunity. Where are you seeing this run of play? And so I think that's just slowly becoming the worry is it's just the same thing every year. And even Jake kind of brought up the point. He's like, well, how long do you think this coach gets? And it's like, Jesus, like we can't go into this constant, like every year we run through at least 2 coaches. We have an interim to finish it out. Then we have the debate. Do we keep that interim? No, we found this new guy. Okay, does he have any say? Like, you know, and we also kept saying, like, where are the falls? Like, what's going on there? Like, why aren't we seeing some of these signings that they've made and made big, like, claims on the signings? Why are, you know, the kids who showed out pretty good, even though it was an Open Cup game, showed out pretty good? Why are they back to the bench and we're running the same people that haven't produced so far this year? Like, at some point, you just have to say, hey, like, your merit, and I don't care what they say about training. Training just isn't getting us those results. Your merit isn't getting us those results. I'm just going to play who's hot, who's my hot hand right now, and run it, and then make adjustments from there. And the problem is, too, is the adjustments that are made from there. It's still like, you know, you look on the night, and we're getting dominated, and Seattle's the first one making changes. It's like we should be looking to find changes in this game right now. So that was some of the things that I just kept thinking last night and into this morning was just like, well, wait a minute. Like, we've been saying this stuff. Like, I mean, it may not always be the exact case per game, but it was a lot of that was just very like, oh, yeah, we've seen all this before and again, and here we are.
Yeah, I'm done with this trust the process bullshit. You better start showing me results on the field because I don't care what regime it is. Like, this isn't working. Nothing you are doing is working. The way that you are training, your tactics, your personnel, they are not working. And not only not working, it's not like that grouping of personnel that's largely unchanged is going out there and it's like, oh man, like they're just missing, like they're just off. They're so damn far off of being a competitive team that I don't even know. Like there's no excitement, there's no creativity. And in the meantime, you have players who have shown you that they can be exciting. Marcel Hartl, Cedric Teuchert, who are just kind of rendered completely useless because you can't even get moving in the right direction to generate any sort of offense. And your defense appears to be just thrown together and just a bunch of desperate challenges by what seemed like, you know, if not competent, you know, average defenders. Like I think that, you know, Polvara has shown well. Timo is been a huge disappointment to me. You know, and McNaughton, like whatever, he is what he is. He's not supposed to be a starter. So I'm with you.
Yeah.
I either start putting people in that are difference makers, or you're going to lose everything. You're going to lose everybody and everything, and it's not even May yet. It's kind of ridiculous at this point that whoever is so dedicated to whatever the hell this is supposed to be, and the egos are so great that they're going to continue to stick with it. It's very Melbergian to me. Absolutely is. Like, this is my system, and this is my personnel, and we're going to go down with it. You're going to go down, all right. It's a good thing you can't go down because this team would have gone down a long time ago.
I know. Like, it's gotten to the point where it's weird now. Every time they release the starting 11, my eyes are just trying to go to see who's different rather than who's in the starting 11. Because it's almost like, okay, just shift it over each week, and like you may see one change, but it's in a position where you're like, well, that's not really, you know, in the area where we were kind of like to see our change go. You know, and then we're still dealing with like the weird substitutions and stuff like that. We even said, or I said on the night, like it sucks that probably our brightest moment on the night, I was disappointed happened. Like bringing Leuven in the 88th minute or whatever like that. It's like, come on, man. After everything, that dude deserves to come back on the field with a good amount of time in the game to make a difference in front of the home fans if you're just not going to give him the minutes on the road, or you felt like he can make a real difference. How would him come in at 4-0 after everything that he's gone through and all this at that late of a juncture? It was fantastic that he at least came out there and pile drived one into the top bins, but it's just like, what was the point of that substitution? Like, don't waste him coming back and making this triumphant return to the field be in that situation. Like, that's just, I don't know, disrespectful to the player almost, because it's like, what's he going to do in 2 minutes, down 4 goals? Like, just have him come out in front of the home fans where he truly gets to feel that appreciation of being back on the field. I do want to say, like, shout out to some of these Seattle players that they showed, like, kind of like it looked like sending their condolences to him while on the field. I thought that was nice. But it's just, you're still watching a lot of these decisions and going, like McSorley coming on way late. Like, if you're down that many goals, you got to get people offensively on there to make as much time available to them as these changes can go. And it's still just these late, like, hey, maybe we'll have some heroics here. So, I was kind of worried about when we hired DeMay as far as the lack of, like, having the team. I know he's been interim manager a couple times, but just having the team at the helm with that little bit of experience that he has, how would he handle mainly game time decisions? Not how will he train the players, not how will he get them ready, maybe not even how will he set up his team and starting 11 and everything like that, but how will you handle those in-game substitutions that will change a game's trajectory? And so far, I just feel like he's really been behind on that, and I think the play it's just showing, because last night just really felt like I don't know what we're going for or what we're trying to do here. You've got 2 wing backs that have just really been underperforming. That's still, and then even you're watching that game and you're going, man, Volum's had a real stinker tonight. Okay, we're getting subbed. Tottenham's coming on for Santos. Like, wait a minute, no, like, Volum's had the worst of the game here. Like, not that Santos was a shining light by any means, but like, where did you justify keeping Volum on that long? It's just, I don't know. It's just, and we even said last night, I asked you, I was like, has there been a bigger fall off from last year than Conrad Volum right now? Because it's just consistent underperforming performances, but yet he's still finding himself in the starting 11 each week.
Yeah, I have no idea. And to be down 2-0 at half and have shown absolutely nothing and make no subs is inexcusable. Like, absolutely inexcusable. And then you wait until, what were the subs, 60? There's no point. At that point, you may as well just get your ass handed to you. You're already down 3-0. What is the point? And I'm sorry, obviously tactically, somebody like that in terms of expertise will forever be better at what they do than you and I. But you and I can look at that team and see, hey, we got to freaking change something at halftime. The answer is not this lineup. We got to change formation. We got to change personnel. Like, I would love for someone to try to justify to me, oh, there's a reason that they leave them on at half. No, F that, dude. This is the big time. This is not, the fans are not going to stay around and wait for your bullshit. Because inevitably, like, the last 2 regimes we're told to be patient with. And the fans aren't going to do it, us included. Like, it's about time for the boo birds to ring out, like, heavily. Like, I'm saying, like, mercilessly Tottenham Hotspur heavily. It's absurd at this point that you just keep banging your head against the wall and there's no reason for it other than this is my system and this is the way that I'm going to play. And like Corey Ray, like, he's only been here for a little while. He's got a lot of blood on his hands at this point too. Like, this is the squad that you have chosen to start off. This is your manager. This is your personnel. Like, it sucks. There's no other way to put it. It sucks. There are flashes where it's like, oh, okay, there's a couple guys that, could go together. And then all of a sudden you're back to the same old boring bullshit. Like, change it. Fix it. Stop telling me about everything else that you're doing. I don't give a shit about the Tina Turner thing. I don't give a shit about the park. I don't give a shit about inclusivity at this point. results on the pitch. Like honestly, that's it. Like everything else is what is noise. It is noise that I don't care to hear anymore. Give me results on the pitch or get out of town and you let somebody else do it.
The problem is I almost miss the noise when you had Lutz in charge. At least Lutz came out in front of the camera and would speak on things and give his opinion and talk honestly to the camera. Or have us. I haven't heard a single thing out of Corey Ray. I don't know what Corey Ray is up to, and it's kind of like this worry too because. Like you said, a lot of these people are on his, these decisions came down to him or even Diego. I mean, you got to hold him accountable because he took a lot of the reins while Lutz was in we were out of transition with Lutz. But, going back to DeMay, you look at the subs that he did make. The first ones they did make was in the 62nd minute. And it's Cordova and Sangbin coming on for Betcher and Teutschert. Now, while I do understand Betcher, he's just been off. He really needed to get out. Teutschert, maybe it was a fitness thing, just that many minutes coming back. But you go with Cordova and Sangbin, who have been really unrelevant all year. I know Sangbin got a goal in the Open Cup. That was more on Berkey's delivery and catching the defender off guard than it was anything that I felt like Sangbin did. But both those guys, can you tell me how many times you said their name on the night? You can't. And both those guys, so far this year, and majority of their performances when they've come onto the field, how many times could you say you've said their name? I found that those two especially, where they've either been from the starting lineup or brought on to substitutions, every time they do, I go, I can't think of anything they did in that game. Anything that they did that was sort of positive. I couldn't tell you if Sangbin had more than 2 touches on the ball. Cordova went completely missing. There's no, in there, and then you wait until the 81st to bring on McSorley, who, again, I know they're kids and I know they're developing, but they've already shown that they've been able to put stats on the board. And if we're going to what a lot of the fans go to right now, it's stats. And those two have both produced. Guess who also scored in that game in the Open Cup? Mekhi Joyner. Mekhi Joyner looked really good in that Open Cup game as well, getting back and defending. And there were a lot of times I was like, who's picking up the ball way out there? And it's like, oh, that's Joyner coming that far back to receive the ball. He had the work ethic, too, of getting back and stuff. And McSorley's always going to put in, I feel like, that same amount of effort that you see Betcher put in, but he's just been a little bit more clinical lately. And I don't know. It's just even if you're producing in games, it doesn't seem like that's going to be a big, factor as far as getting you going. And we touched on how open between McNaughton and Durkin were all throughout the night, just not seeming to be on the same page as far as where they were going and everything like that. You just brought back Ostrak. Give him a few minutes there towards the end. When you're down 3-0, what do you have to lose? You're going to need something big. Why not just go for it at those points and play those guys that are just going to turn and look to go forward and get you something? I'd rather, hey, if you're still losing 4-1 anyway, I might as well sit there and go, yeah, but those last 30 minutes, we went for it. And I just don't feel like that's ever the case here. You're always just kind of sitting going, have we still not made any – nobody's up warming up? What are we waiting on right now?
Yeah. If I'm Mekhi Joyner, I'm asking to go out on loan at this point.
Yeah, 100%.
100%. I mean, this team is kind of ruining any sort of prospects that he has. He's just rotting on the bench. And I'm asking to go out on loan. Screw this. I know that I'm more talented than most of the players that are being put in offensive positions here. Now, is he raw? Absolutely. But how the hell else is he supposed to figure out how to play in the MLS if you don't give him an opportunity? And he's shown more explosiveness and more athleticism and more flash than any offensive player that's on the field. Marcel Hartl included. Hartl's obviously got the pedigree and the second Bundesliga and all that stuff, but the ceiling for Joyner is so high, and they just refuse to give him an opportunity. I guess he's not up to the task of training. I don't know, man. I'm at such a loss. We're supposed to go to the San Jose game Saturday, and I'm not excited about it. How do I get excited about that game? San Jose is just going to ram it right down our throats, and we're going to have no. There's going to be no response, and you're not going to see Leuven start. So you might see another late cameo from him, just based on what you've seen in the past. We baby every single player that we have getting back into the game, regardless of injury or absence or whatever. You're not going to see the young guys. You're going to probably see the same lineup maybe unless Orozco gets cleared for concussion, and then he comes back in for McNaughton, and then okay, we're gonna run this same squad and this same formation, and these same shitty tactics against a good San Jose team who is coached by one of the best coaches in MLS, Bruce Arena. I can't get excited about it. Give me a reason to get excited about that game.
Well,
there's none.
We'll be there together, so that's true. That's a little excitement there. And there's food.
It's true, and there's food. Yes.
What? That's about it. Well, let me ask you this right now: with all the player personnel that you have at your disposal, I'm trying to think like outside of any big injuries, which I don't think we really have. Let's just say Orozco does clear concussion protocol and all that type of stuff. What is a lineup that you would like to see? What is something that you would like to see from the get-go? And also keeping a factor like we said, Leuven's not just, whether it's fitness or whatever, most likely not going to be on the, but everybody else, let's just say, is up to fitness and everything like that. What is a starting lineup that you as a season ticket holder, what you've seen so far would be like, hey, I'm excited to see what this team can do at least against San Jose?
I mean, the first thing I do is I bench Timo Baumgartel because he's done absolutely nothing. I put both Falls in with Polvara in the back. Are we talking? Are we going 3-4-3 still? Is that the idea?
Yeah, let's just say he's going to keep the same, formation and all that type of stuff because it seems that way. But at least personnel you can adjust around.
Yeah.
What would you like?
Okay. So I put Totland in at the right wing because Wall needs to sit and watch for a while. I'm okay with Santos being on the left. I think you know what you're getting out of him because he's actually starting to whip crosses in pretty well, although nobody's ever on the end to meet them because we don't really have that player, that Klaus. Oh, we had a guy like that once to go after those head balls.
Yeah.
I put McSorley up top. I put Hartle on the left, and I put Mickey Joyner on the right. I got center mids. Like I guess you still go Edelman and Durkin. You don't really have another option there now, right?
Right.
But I think having both Falls probably gives you a lot better distribution out of the back, and
which
some
is what
actual
they've
height
emphasized.
to be able to go at, and some size to be able to go after some set pieces. And I just want to see something different. I'm like you. I just want to see. I want to see somebody with some energy and some shakeup. And I don't know. The roster has gotten worse over the years. It has. Like you were talking about
wild,
looking at the lineup. I don't look forward to the lineup release anymore. That used to be like really an exciting part of like, oh, an hour before the game, here comes the lineup. Like now I just don't give a shit. Like because I know what it's going to look like. It's very predictable at this point.
Yeah, the lineup used to be like you'd being upset because they left out like one person, but you're like, but I can see why they need. Yeah, he needs rest. Now you're like, I can't believe they left out these 5 people. Like, yeah, I'm pretty much with you on the lineup. The only one I can maybe just because Totland's been a little since that injury coming back, just hit or miss. I could go with him out on that right, or even moving Orozco out to that right and just have it because I thought he's been playing well so far this season. And then also I feel like we're just not producing anything out of those wings backs as far as going forward outside of Santos anyway. Wallum just has not done anything. We talked about it a lot of times on the night. He would bring himself forward and then just instantly not play the pass when it was there, turn around and shuffle it back out.
How about when he ran by Nuhu and then forgot that Nuhu was behind him and he cut behind his leg right back into Liverpool just
made a great run. Liverpool just scored. Damn.
Liverpool just scored. Damn it.
But
makes a great run and then does what Wallum does this year, which is cut the ball back and look to trailer square, and there's Nuhu. Like, who knew that he would have stopped running? Did you see what I did there? Nuhu, who knew? I didn't mean to do that.
Oh, I like it. I think we just start throwing that in from now on. Just anyway, just even if we're not covering a Seattle game, just be like, who knew?
So I'm so distraught that Liverpool just nicked this game in the 101st minute.
Yeah, that's how they always do it. Especially those derbies. Those Merseyside derbies never have a goal not happen in
On a
the
corner.
95th minute or plus.
On a corner. Van Dyke on a corner.
But yeah, like Vollum on the night, he just the big surprise to me that he keeps making it in the starting 11 is just he looks like a player that is just lacking so much confidence. You look even on the night when he gave up the pen, he just looked completely like, yeah, I got completely beat. I made a dumb mistake, like head straight down, knew it right
Yeah.
away. Like there's just seeming to be no confidence right now. And I think when you start to see that in a player, you got to get him out and just give him a little bit of like time away. Maybe bring them on as a sub later to try and build their confidence. But the fact that he's like almost penciled into that starting 11, it just doesn't make sense to me. Like,
No.
I think sometimes you just got to run players even if they're slightly out of position. But we have opportunity players that are in that position, like you said, Totland. I feel like Orozco could do that job out there. But there's just a lot of like, I feel like you said, you've got talented players in Hartle, and Teutsch on his day can be that guy. But they're just not those players, though, that just like will get the ball and just take it over completely on their own. They need a little bit of support
Yeah.
to assist them to do that, and it's really lacking right now on the rest of the team. So I think it'll be really interesting to see where you go from here as far as San Jose goes. Do we finally see, and I really do think that if you don't see big changes to that starting 11 before that game, like you said, I think the Boo Birds, the fans are going to be less forgiving at home, I think.
I hope so.
Against
I hope
San
so.
Jose.
That's the message that needs to be sent, and it needs to be sent up the ladder. Like, this is bullshit, Carolyn. This is bullshit, Diego. This is bullshit, Corey.
Yeah, I just don't. It's just weird to me to put out, like. Plus, it's also funny looking back now. And again, I know it's a lower level side and it's the Open Cup and all that type of stuff. That's where you're supposed to rotate. But you rotate the squad heavily and destroy a team 4-0. Like, again, I understand it wasn't, the top level, but you at least got to see some excitement from the fans and all that type of stuff. And just, players playing a little bit more free and, goals and all that type of stuff. Like, just ride that momentum. I know it's a nervous place
chances.
when you're on the road and all that type of I mean, the fans, from what I know, they do not like that. I do like
this team as currently constituted. Like, if you did get into a game that was a track meet, you would get just slaughtered. And sometimes the game opens up just because of just the nature of the MLS, right? It's kind of a sloppier league. But think about last night, if you would actually run into this back and forth game, you'd have gotten beat 8-0.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no chance. Well, why don't we put some players out there that are capable of that instead of these one-dimensional players that just they're holding defensive players or their wings that all they can do is cross the ball in. Let's give it a shot. Just let's play wide open for a little while. Let's see. Let's let people stretch their legs a little bit. No, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, let's go back to, what was it, 2023 Leeds. Marco Bielsa Leeds,
Oh my God.
where it's just like
Yes.
they either won 4-0 or lost 4-0. But
Yes.
I tell you this much, no matter who you supported, you were excited to watch them play.
Oh, yeah.
Because you knew it was just going to be an all-out fun game. Like, let's just be those guys where it's like, hey, they may not be the greatest, but boy, they put on an exciting game each week. Like,
No, instead it's like Burnley every time they come to the Premier League. It's like, batten down the hatches. We're going for a 0-0 draw. Oh, well, we're down 2-0. Can't do anything about it now.
Nope, that's exactly what it feels like. I do say probably the thing that kept the night the most entertaining for us as far as that performance and everything like that is we were just throwing out what we think new rules should be implemented into the game.
Yes,
and I thought
we
we
have
came
a lot
up
of
with
them.
a lot of great ones.
Yes.
And I think those were, I think, and maybe we were looking at like St. Louis's team and thinking like, how can we, like make this team better? And some of the options that we came up with is we had you get two challenge fights each game.
Two fight challenges a game.
Two fight challenges each game to where, just like you're seeing in baseball right now where you get the two tap on the helmets to challenge a pitch. If you don't like, how the game's going and you just want to try and halt that momentum around, you call a challenge fight, and then we said what? There's a blow up ring that happens on the side, and
Yeah.
rather than the VAR signal, the ref makes like a fight signal, and
Yes.
45-second go, and whoever wins the fight in that 45 seconds, they keep their player on the field. The other person who just got beat has to stay off the field for, I think we said like 2 to 5 minutes. Like
yeah. Shout
talk
out!
about it.
That's the Blades of Steel rule. In the
Yeah.
game Blades of Steel, if you lost a fight, your player went to the penalty box, and the other team got to keep 5-on-4. That's so we'll call that the Blades of Steel rule. We
Yeah,
also
I
had
did-
designated gladiator rule.
Yes.
Yeah, to where at any time you could have a designated gladiator fight, and that was
Yep.
I think, what did we say? Like if you won that fight, you got 2 goals. I think. Something
Yeah.
like that.
So basically, they would choose a fan from the stadium
Yes.
to represent them, and I said that would encourage road traveling fans as well, because
Yeah.
you'd have to have
Yeah.
you'd have to have representatives there for your possible, and that is a one-time a game challenge, and it's got a lot on the line with that one. So we came up with I think that mainly it was a lot centered around combat. Maybe having the UFC fight on the TV next to it may have encouraged some of those things, but I think we were like just trying to find any way that, like, hey, you know what? Maybe St. Louis could just be the enforcer team. Honestly, let's get back to that. We used to be the most like physically demanding team in the league, and we just don't really have that, it feels like, anymore.
No, we don't.
And notice that's gone down, and so as performances, maybe we should find a little bit of the old magic and bring it back into the the fold. But
what we were really doing was trying to keep ourselves entertained. That's because
insane.
There was not a lot going on.
Well, had to keep yourself sane, because what is it? The definition of insanity is just doing the same thing over and over again. You had mimicking back-to-back goals. You had mimicking back-to-back basic starting 11s, same philosophies, late subs, all that type of stuff. But before we finish on this game, is there anything positive that you took from this game?
I mean, Leuven's goal was really great.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, not only from like a cathartic, emotional thing, but also like the technique and the skill, and just kind of reminding everybody what he can do when he's on the field. So maybe there is a little bit of a bright ray, although when he came in, he went into more of an advanced role.
Out on the wing.
I don't know that we'll see him there in a game, although who the hell knows, maybe we will. But yeah, that was great. That was great to see.
Yeah, at this point, it wouldn't surprise me if they bring him into wing back and just say, hey, just whip in crosses the whole time, because that's all we need out there. But
Bring him into wing back.
Yeah, I think that was like I said, the only positive / unfortunate negative with being just when he came in and all that type of stuff. So, hey, City's back at City Park this upcoming weekend. So, I think we said this a lot last year, but just show me a performance at home. It's going to be a tough game. San Jose is a good team. Go out there and show me a performance. Show me something that says, hey, you fans should keep coming every week to City Park to support us and be excited. Still show that there can be some excitement in this team. So that's what I want to see come Saturday whenever they take on San Jose. So we will wrap that up. We will get into we got just a couple South End submissions heading our way. Before we wrap up tonight, we'll kick it off with Ryan Cadlick in some Cadlick Combat, obviously directed towards his boyfriend, the Monday morning center back, as he usually tries to do anyway. He said, same exercise in partner. Same exercise in sportsmanship as last time. Eliminate a city's sports franchise and all their history. So we've got some new cities this week for you to decipher from. We've got, do you want me to keep it the 1v8 and all that type of stuff, or do you want me to just read them all off and then you pick who? I think it's funnier when you have them go up against each other, because you contradict yourself completely, like last time where you're like, oh, I don't want them to win, and then have them win the next round because you're like, oh, I like them. And I think we stick to that
whatever
route.
you enjoy more is
All
great.
right. So I'll just read them as we go and not read them all at once, so you get surprised at the moment. So first one, we've got 1v8, and that's going to be Philadelphia against Miami. So you got Philadelphia, you got the Phillies, you got the Sixers, Eagles. Who else am I missing in there? Flyers. And then
Yeah.
for Miami, you've got, it's an interesting first matchup we got here. I feel like
I don't have any hatred towards the fans, the Miami fans, though.
I was
I
going to
think
say
this
Miami I don't think is ever really Philly's known for having just the
Yeah.
worst fans
The
ever.
Dolphins fans are just kind of like long suffering, to be honest, and I don't feel like they're obnoxious. And the Heat fans have nothing to complain about, given the LeBron era and then the Shaq and D Wade before that. Like,
Yeah,
they
right.
just and you're in South Beach. What is there to complain about? Like, your team is bad, and then just go hang out on South Beach. That's fine. No, I think Philadelphia, yeah.
It is funny though, outside of the Heat, there really isn't much success, at least any time lately in Miami.
Yeah.
Well, I
I
mean,
mean, the
obviously,
Marlins.
in,
Well, the Marlins, when they were the Florida Marlins, they have 2 World Series, but that was kind of weird. Like,
well, yeah, but that was a while. I mean, they've
that was a
been
long time ago.
terrible since, and then I guess you got Inter Miami kind of turning things around. But yeah, I'm with you. Get rid of Philly. Next, we have Minneapolis and Houston.
Again,
So-
like the Minnesota fans are so nice.
Yeah,
We
I've
went to
only
that
ever heard
game.
really nice
went-
things about them.
Yeah, we went to that game last year, and everybody was so nice. Like, I have no beef with them. I want them to win. I wanted them to make a run at the Cup last year. And who was the other one?
Houston.
Yeah. Houston's interesting. It's not the fans' fault that the baseball team cheated, although there is a sect of that fan base that just like refuses to acknowledge that that's the reason that they won those World Series is because they cheated.
Right.
So
Right.
I would say, yeah, let's get rid of Houston then.
Yeah, I got you there. All right, then we've got Detroit and Denver.
Yeah, I got no
Detroit,
beef
we've
with
had-
either of these fan
Yeah, but the
bases.
Red Wings, man, the Red Wings.
Yeah,
just
but they
gave us
haven't
a
been
hard
relevant in
time
so
for
long
years.
either.
Yeah,
They
but
were
Denver never really
obnoxious.
gave us any issues or any.
Yeah.
I mean, outside of, if you throw in like the Colorados and Kroenke being a part of that.
Oh yeah, you know what? It's not the fans' fault though. The whole Nuggets thing. So I'm sorry, Denver fan. We can't cheer for your success because that's Kroenke's success, right? So
Yeah, that's where it does
Yeah,
get
that's
tough
a
because
good
you're not
call.
just getting rid of franchises. You're kind of looking into the whole ownership as well and
Yeah.
all that good stuff.
yeah,
Yeah,
get rid of all those franchises. That's a good call. That should have been an insta call on my part. I apologize.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the Broncos,
And then we've got-
I like the Broncos fan base and the Broncos
yeah,
franchise,
I
except for
think
John Elway.
You don't like LA?
No. You know John Elway's story, right? How he got drafted. I can't remember who it was drafted by. The
San
Colts?
Francisco, or he wanted San Francisco, wasn't it?
Well, I don't know who it was that he wanted, but he went and played baseball instead of going and playing
Yeah.
for the Colts. I think it was the Colts.
I think you're right. It was the
Yeah. But
the Colts.
I
yeah.
will forever have beef with that because it's like just why do you? It's the same thing with Eli Manning. Like why
Yeah,
do you
I
feel
do-
like you get a different set of rules?
I do hate that is
Yeah.
people being like, I refuse to play for these teams if I'm drafted. Dude, you are part of the 0.001% that get
Yeah.
to play a professional sport for a living.
Yeah.
You should be happy no matter where you're at.
Yeah.
You hear that, all you stars in Europe? You should be happy to play for St. Louis City and come here and stop being so damn picky, all right? Jesus.
Yeah.
Last first round, we've got Atlanta and Seattle.
Oh man, and Seattle was just that we just gave the shout out to the Seattle players for
Yeah, right.
yeah, but the Seahawks fans are really annoying. Yeah, I'll
You don't
get
like
rid
the
of
whole
Seattle.
12th man?
Yeah.
You don't like the whole 12th man thing?
No.
Yeah, and I also feel like, man, Atlanta was just like such a part of our, I don't know about you, but like part of growing up because the Braves games used to always be on TBS. So it was just like you knew almost just as much of the Braves as you did the Cardinals back then.
Yeah.
Like that was, yeah, I got you there. All right, so we've got, let's see, we've got Minneapolis going against Miami.
Oh, dump Miami, for sure.
Dump Miami.
Dump
yeah,
them.
yeah. And then we have Detroit and Atlanta.
I I guess dump Detroit because if you get rid of the Atlanta Hawks franchise, then there's never been a St. Louis Hawks, and then there was never an NBA team in St. Louis. So yeah,
What a connection. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And then lastly, so who gets to keep their fandom? We've got Minneapolis or Atlanta.
Yeah, Minneapolis. They're just so nice.
They
They're
are
so
so
nice, and they make a delicious cheeseburger that has the cheese on the inside, the Juicy Lucy.
Yes,
It's so good. The stuffed burger. Oh yeah.
I also feel like if you have,
it has nothing to do with their franchises or fandom, but it always comes back to food.
No. I think that is something that we haven't considered, which shame on us, is we should almost like look up all the franchises, like what their, maybe that's how we start like eliminating these teams is what's their concessions look like? What have
Based on
your
their
concessions
Well,
done for us
if
lately?
that was the case, Minnesota would have gotten dead last because that was, I don't know.
Yeah,
if
you were not
remember me
impressed when you
sending
went there.
Yeah, I was not at all. It was like,
Yeah.
I think they had like Swedish meatballs, I think, or yeah, it was like it was not, they got some work to do still.
You said they were Swedish meatballs. That picture you sent us, I just remember I remember texting you back going, what am I looking at? Like, it was like,
And there was like a
like,
pickle
what is that, man?
involved. It was, it was very strange.
Yeah, they were just kind of like, yeah, we've got to get rid of the rest of this stuff. Well, just put it on that meatball sub. All right, yeah. Next, we'll make our way over to Discord. Our friend Jerry has a good one that we'll have to fill out at some time because it just said the food quiz will reveal what movie genre your life is. And I feel like that has to be something that you and I have to take a food quiz to figure out what movie genre.
Okay.
What would you, before taking the quiz, what would you guess your movie genre is? Mine would probably be like kid because they'd be like, he eats a lot of sweets. That
He eats
must
like
be
a
like
kid.
a little kid. He eats like a kid, so it's probably a Disney movie or something like that.
Yeah, just based if we're just assuming that your diet is tied to your favorite movie genre, I would guess it's going to be something like sports or action, but I don't know what I base that on, or yes, kids, because sometimes I eat like a raccoon eating out of a dumpster. So yeah, that's what I would go with, just based on just initial impression, but I haven't looked at it.
Yeah, I'll be interested. We'll take that quiz today and see what we come up with. And then lastly, we have our man KVK coming in. He said it's WrestleMania weekend. What is your favorite wrestling finisher, and what is your favorite wrestling feud? Fetlord Colton said it has to be the RKO and the Undertaker and Kane when Kane was first introduced as his brother. KVK said Bad Blood in Your House 1997 St. Louis. He said his favorite finisher is either the Angle Slam or the Swanson Bomb. And his favorite feud is Motor City Machine Guns versus Beer Money and TNA.
I was just thinking about when Jake was talking about the best wrestling feud last night and got laughing again.
Oh, yeah.
That one going on the cutting room floor.
Yeah, that was hilarious. Yeah.
So my favorite finisher is the stunner. Like, it's because it can it can come out of absolutely nowhere. It takes relatively little effort coming compared to some of the other finishers, like the rock bottom. You have to grab a hold of them. You know what I mean? Like, it has to be like one spot. RKO is kind of the same way. The off the top rope moves, like the guy's got to be laid out in the ring. Submissions, for the most part, can be laid out. Like, the stunner can come from anywhere, like absolutely anywhere. Just a real quick kick to the stomach and bang, you're done.
Yep.
So I think it's the stunner.
And occasionally you can throw the double birds in their face right before you throw it down too. So
and also,
you get that added.
let's just like a 1B to the stunner is the diamond cutter, because DDP could hit you with the diamond cutter from anywhere. It's basically the same move, with a little bit of a variation, because you didn't take the kick to the stomach that Stone Cold had. DDP could hit that off the top rope too, which that was real special when he did that. So yeah, I really did like that. And let's shout out the absurdity of the people's elbow as a finisher, just because the circumstances had to be so perfect every time. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, like, they're already laid out. There's no reason to go and take like 30 seconds to go, throw your elbow pad into the crowd and then bounce off the ropes a couple times and then hit them with another elbow.
Yep.
But the absurdity of what that move was, and it's the most electrifying move in sports entertainment. So
Exactly. Yeah.
What's
I
your
didn't
move?
I haven't watched. Man, haven't watched it since I was a kid. But I would say what I try to like think about going back to is what I was able to perform on my brother, and so which always like I think make like obviously the choke slams up there, like that was always a throwing him onto the bed, couch, or whatever it may have been. I also remember it's funny now, like looking back, and this is probably why they used to say like there needs to be warning on these types of shows. Is like looking back, it's like it's a good thing I didn't like the amount of times I thought about what is it the tombstone where they'd hold them upside down and then just like slam them straight down on the head.
Yeah.
But you're supposed to like catch it between your knees or something like that. Like thinking
your knees
kids
hit.
like yeah, but thinking back then like we would just think like, oh yeah, it's straight to his head.
Drop them on their head.
I remember I used to like the walls of Jericho, I think is what it's called, where you bend them backwards.
Yeah.
Like looking back now, it's like my poor brother's spine. Like it's like Jesus. Like
Why does he have back problems now?
yeah, why is he having this? I do think though the funniest one that I remember, you were talking about absurd ones. It's like didn't McFoley have Mr. Sacco? And
Like the mandible claw.
Put it in the yeah. Wasn't that a finisher? Like basically, like you just shove it in the mouth and all that type of stuff. So yeah, like I'd put those up there.
His 2 fingers down your throat.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, that is up there. That might be more.
That's got to be up there. Or like we were saying, the Rikishi or whoever who used to just like flatten you in the corner with his ass, like
the bonsai drop.
Yeah, like all those good ones. So I mean, there's a lot of good finishers for sure out there that from that era, but I think those always just stood out to me. And then as far as favorite feud, I just remember like that whole NWO era just took over as far as like that really like brought like I don't know, this like first little, to me anyway, that's the first time I remember being like, I don't like them because they're, against my team or whatever you want to say, like who you liked better. That was where I first associated, I guess, as a kid, feuds when it came to that type of stuff. So for me, that whole like era, it was like what, red and black and white and black, like that whole era.
I mean, it's.
I remember being.
It started. It was. I mean, just everybody versus NWO black and white, and that's a great point into where it was. Where you, like you said, it was the first time when I was ever watching wrestling where it was like I don't like that group. And they did so well with that. And God, WCW was so on top of the wrestling world, and they screwed it up so bad because they just gave so many people too many guarantees and too much creative control. And there are just like countless like documentaries and shows if you're ever interested, if you haven't seen them at this point. But yeah, NWO, and they just kept, and every week it seemed like another like WCW like superstar would join them. And then it was, man, like they're really like there's no beating them. The best feud came down to when they tried to recruit Sting, and Sting, like for weeks and weeks and weeks, you couldn't figure out if Sting was going to go join NWO, if he was going to stay in WCW, and that was when he was doing the whole Crow thing, and like that was like appointment television, man. Like it really was. And then when Sting sided with the WCW and decided to just fight back, that was huge. And black and white, red and black was cool too, because then it was like, okay, like these are our guys. Like they're still like outlaws, but these are our outlaws. Kind of like kind of like with DX. Like DX started off as this like anti-establishment thing, but after a while people started to like DX so much that DX became like the organization of the WWF fans. No, those are great.
I'll tell you this much.
Individual feuds, like it doesn't get any better than like Stone Cold and The Rock. God, Mankind and The Undertaker was such a classic. Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels is probably one of my favorites. Hogan and Andre the Giant. Hogan and Savage, man, just and rest. God, kids today just don't even know what they're missing with that.
Oh, I know
what wrestling was compared to what it is, whatever it is now. I'm sure it's still very entertaining. I'll still watch a Royal Rumble every now and then. But yeah, game's gone.
Game's gone. Yeah, man, you brought up yeah, I wanted to be Sting, so I wanted to paint my face, and I wanted a black wooden bat so damn bad. But it's honestly, like we were talking about, like with it's my brother has to be probably thanking his stars that I never had a bat, just because it would have been pulled out, like just. And also you think about like how many people thought like, oh yeah, every table's got to be a breakaway table, I'll just throw somebody on top of there, like, it's just like, and then you hear that thud, nothing changes. You're like, oh man, they must be doing it different, like all that type of stuff. But and also probably nobody hated the DX era more than teachers around the world, just because a bunch of like kids coming in and doing the whole stuff, like to everything. It was just like, my God, like I remember I would at school. I remember I realized the first time because I said, "Give me a hell yeah," and they were like, "Oh, you can't say that." And I was like, that was my first time realizing, like, what you can't say what they say. It's just what they say. Like, what are you talking about? Yeah. No, so yeah, good times, just like City used to be. Good times, and
Just
hopefully,
like it used to be.
hopefully sometime we can find those good times again. But we'll be here until they're there. So anything else you want to add before we get out of here today?
No, man. We're wrapping up just in time. The Premier League gets decided today. Decided today, which is so cool. I wish these teams were playing on the last day of the season. So it would be the last game.
Can you imagine that?
The Man City and Arsenal are getting ready to kick off right now. Basically, if Arsenal draw, they probably walk away with it.
Yeah, if they get anything out of this one, I think
City win, then they've got the upper hand all of a sudden. So it's gonna be exciting.
Yeah,
I wish people could get this excited about soccer in the MLS. It's
100%. Yeah, 100%.
like we're not
I agree.
fans of either of these teams, and I'm just like I have so much anxiety about this game. Right
I'm gonna have it playing through my speakers as I'm driving to work, because I just got to feel like this could be a real shift in the whole season and everything like that. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of Arsenal water bottles in the stands this week from like that one fan who went viral. Also, have you been keeping up with the Premier League? Did you guys play this weekend at all? Chelsea?
I don't
Chelsea
think so. I'll have to check my phone.
Oh,
I'm not sure.
yeah, I know we played yesterday. Oh, that's right. We played you guys.
Hey, this isn't red versus blue.
Beat you again.
This is not red.
It's not, but I gotta get some.
If you
like
really
like
wanted
last
to
night
get
when
me-
we were coming up with fight rules, you
If
got to
you
find
really
some
wanted
sort
to
of
get me,
enjoyment.
you'd have played the Man City song. Like I was waiting for it. That's a missed opportunity by you.
Yeah, but we've found many a times the times that I've tried to play music on here, it doesn't come through very well. Plus, I'm very much a cheap person, so all my stuff has ads attached to it. So if I would find it, you'd most likely hear the commercial before you'd hear the actual.
What's
Take
the
Me Home.
saddest part about this season is that for the first 3 or 4 months before Man U switched managers, it was completely one-sided for Chelsea, and then they got Carrick in. And it's been the 180-degree difference ever since. So even if I wanted to play the Chelsea song, it doesn't have any relevance right now because Chelsea suck compared to Man U. Chelsea suck compared to a lot of teams. But, like, I can't even get under your skin with that song because your team's going to go be in the Champions League next year. So, yeah, good for you. Good for you.
I'm not. Nope. Don't do that, because I know what you're doing right now, and I'm not saying anything about Champions League until the season is final kicked and everything's established. I don't care, Dave. I don't care what our point differential is.
This is a big mea culpa, and congratulations to Manchester United for qualifying for the Champions League this year. It's very exciting. I'm sure that they will do really well next year against the top teams in Europe. When
I find joy for the first time in 10 years, you have a fine way of just making me just scared still. like the whole time you're saying that, I'm like, just shut up, man. Because I just
they are
we're in a
third
point
in the table right now.
We're in a point back to this audio going, I can't believe
they're third
at
in the
that
table
moment
right now.
they dropped every game from then on out and finished below.
Liverpool are 3 points behind. There's no way Liverpool will catch them. No way.
Yeah. Well, enjoy Conference League next year there, Dave. But thank you
Maybe.
guys for listening.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. You better hope.
I'm looking.
Thank you guys for listening
Yeah, go ahead.
to this
Go on.
show. No, thank you. No, he's pulling it up. I'm going to mute him real quick. Thank you guys for listening to the show. Hopefully you guys were entertained by it, as we're trying to find any sort of entertainment because City, unfortunately, lately has not been providing much outside of the Open Cup. So hopefully they can look to bounce back and at least be, like we said, entertaining, show what they could do, what potential there could be as far as keeping things going. But thank you guys also for sending in those submissions. We really appreciate it. Keep sending them into all our socials and follow us on all our socials. On Instagram, we're South End Supporters. On Twitter and Reddit, it's _SES_podcast STL. Make sure you're also following us on our Facebook page and our YouTube. That way you keep up with all things South End Supporters. And if you want to keep up with us personally, you can follow us on our own Instagrams. I'm _15. He is the 204 Oracle. So for myself, Eric Cole, and the Monday Morning Setter back, Dave Wyckoff, you've been listening to South End Supporters. And until next week, let's go City.